Good evening, sir. I wanted to know if we can give this as a prophylactic at age onset 70 to prevent Alzheimer's or Parkinsonianism.
Okay. You see, Alzheimer's disease investigations have now revealed that many cases of Alzheimer's disease are caused by deposition of aluminium in the brain or deposition of mercury in the brain. Chelation therapy can remove those toxins. There have been cases where people have been relieved of Alzheimer's disease by chelation therapy. Chelation therapy has been largely investigated only in case of heart disease, peripheral vascular disease, and things like that. In Alzheimer's disease, I cannot say that, although there are many cases where the improvement has taken place. You see, since there has not been study, there has not been statistics, there has not been sufficient data. So, we cannot tell with definite, we cannot give a definite answer to this in absence of any statistical data availability.
If there is a history of heart disease in the family, can you do this as a preventive procedure?
Yes, yes. Because, as I said, it is the metallic toxins that create these degenerative diseases. If they are removed, the chances of your heart attack are much less. So naturally, as a preventive measure, you can take this therapy and it will help you.
Can chelation therapy have positive effect on varicose veins? This is one.
Yes, I will say that there have been instances and in many books it has been written that it helps varicose veins. My wife particularly had varicose veins, and when she took chelation therapy, situation certainly improved, but
more than necessary chelation drips or takes a much overdose repercussions.
Okay. More chelation drips taken appropriately will not harm. For example, there have been instances where people have taken more than 400 chelation drips and they have remained alive, because basically it is a body cleansing process, detoxification process. But there again, as I told, as I said, you see, you essentially have to ensure that you are not unnecessarily depleting the metallic essential metal ions from your body. So you must take vitamins and minerals, that nutritional medicine. It's not only, but as I said, there have been instances where people have taken, at least I know that record which was given in one of the books was some 471 drips the person had taken, and still he is in good condition.
Sir, what is the minimum age for chelation therapy, and can it be helpful for type 1 diabetes?
Minimum age. Now, minimum age for, I mean, we consider it generally as, say, 20 years. No, type 1 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes, difficult to say, but I can give you, we had some 3-4 patients who were insulin dependent. Does not necessarily mean that they were type 1, because type 1 and insulin dependent are different. But in their case, the insulin requirement considerably reduced. In fact, in one case, he stopped taking insulin and still is in good shape. So that can happen. Insulin requirement is generally reduced almost in all cases.
In a normal case, just as a normal detoxification, what should be the frequency for chelation? I mean, some periodic frequency, like every 6 months or every annually?
You mean to say for preventive measure?
Yes, preventive.
Now, prevention measure, what we generally tell people, depending upon again his age, because you know that almost certainly determines how much toxins must be in your body, but about 10 drips of chelation, 5 drips of oxygenation to start with in the first you see 2-3 weeks or 5 weeks, whatever is the time span required, at the rate of 2 weeks, 2 drips per week, so about 2 months. Afterwards, depending upon the place where you stay, what are your environmental conditions and all that, you may have to go in for anywhere between 2 to 6 drips per year.
Okay. And does it also work on in case of asthmatic condition? Asthmatic?
Asthma, I think oxygenation is a better therapy, or even Myers cocktail that we give.
In your latter portion of your communication, you mentioned that only 8 people have been given the Mediclaim benefits of this therapy so far. Could you comment more on it, of why it has not certainly been accepted?
See, as I said, who decides the policies? A panel of doctors. Who are those doctors? In most of the cases, or rather invariably I can say, they are allopathic doctors. Now, allopathic doctors are not taught this therapy, as I told you. So they don't know about efficacy. I am not saying that all allopathic doctors are bad or any such thing, but they don't know. So, if there is something which is not known to you, you will not accept it. Obviously, it's a human tendency. So, this doctor panel does not allow such treatments to be given medical insurance claim reimbursement. So that's what it is, and it has been going on for several, decades like that.
Mr. Gokhale, thank you very much. With this, we bring the session to an end. Let's give him all a big hand.